All right, let's see. Let's put on this song. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Check. All right. Let's pull this up. Damn, this is true. We have 18 people watching. Okay, it went down to 10. Okay, thank God. Like, what is happening? Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Draw and Talk stream. Guys, I spent like all last week cleaning my basement, moving all my shit down so that I could start streaming downstairs again. Got this like really cool stream set up, and then the reason why I put all my stuff up here in the first place was because my kids like to do this thing called not sleeping, and so I want to help my wife out. So while I draw, I'll go help. But man, then everyone got sick, and so I was like, gosh, I have to letter my book. Let's just keep all this shit in here. So all right. Basements suck. No, I love basements. I love me some basements. Okay, guys, let's real quick before we start. We have a good show tonight. We have 48 hours left. 48 hours left for My Sexy Witch Academia #1 on Kickstarter. This is a 40-page black and white comic. This is art by yours truly and Ellie and Bia Navarro. And we got a ton of awesome covers and whatnot. Great story. 40. So this was the experiment comic, guys. For the first week, for the very first week of this project, I didn't tell a single freaking person. I didn't even tell anyone that I made it. And then after 1 week, after like 15 hours, we funded, and then after a week, I started telling people, and I'm on a new account on Kickstarter, Mr. Smile Comics, which is an imprint of Draw and Talk Comics, and look, we're already at 12 grand. Thank you guys so much. I'm super excited to get these books out to you guys. I'm currently I'm finishing up Girl with the Megafist right now. We're sending the edits, the PDF over to my editor this weekend, and then after that we'll get to print. After that we'll be working on this, and then I have working on Coins of Judas, which you can get on in comic book stores. Then we're going to be working on Girl with the Megafist Volume 4, and then I have a new imprint of comics that I'm making, and we'll just keep it at that for now. I'll announce stuff later, but all right, let's just get the show on the road. I've got two awesome guests with me. One of them is getting the kids down. We're getting the kids down, but we got the. I was gonna say we got the people of color here representing.
I mean, I am the resident Negromancer of Indy Comics, so
There we go.
you might as well just go ahead and say it.
I was gonna say I'm the most Chinese person in Indie Comics, but I think Tim Lim's got me
Just by a hair,
I think by 50% at least.
right? He's got because he's full, right. Also, I do have to say before you even say anything else, Tyler, I don't appreciate. I'm on the page right now for Sexy Witch Academia, and I see tiers up here in the $60 to $150 tier. I just got to say I don't appreciate that, and I feel like you're okay. So you're clearly trying to rob people, and I don't appreciate that because I just think that if you were in it for the passion, right, the passion and the art, then you wouldn't be out here fucking trying to rob people and take all the. No one can look. We're supposed to be broke artists, man. We're supposed to be starving artists for our entire fucking lives. We're supposed to run ourselves broke, get all our bank accounts in the red, trying to make something and then just give it away for free. And if you're not doing that, then you're literally a grifter.
If you're not, yeah, if you're not a broke ass bitch in the indie scene, you're doing it wrong. Apparently, being broke means that you are more creative. Dude, this is gonna be a wild. This is gonna be a wild stream tonight because what's interesting about it, and like, so for those of you guys that don't know, tonight we're going to be talking about Eric July's debate that he had with someone on his channel, because it was just such an interesting topic just to listen to, about like what someone perceives indie comics in terms of the price, what the creators need to be going through, and the financials of it, and their perception. And just what was crazy about it was just this sense of I don't know, like, I want to say like disrespect towards the indie comic scene. Is that a good word?
Yeah, it's disrespect, and I want to say it's bitch lasagna, but that would be slightly more rude than I'm trying to be.
We can be bitch lemonade.
There you go, bitch lemonade.
Bitch lemonade.
Like, he need one of your Yu-Gi-Oh cards for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. This dude was on some other shit, and the main takeaway from it was just, be broke for the love of art. Do things in an inefficient business way. That's the quote unquote how stuff is supposed to be. And he genuinely made us all look bad, I feel like, because he was representing this side of not just indie comics, but creators in general. It's this starving artist mentality. And I see it in YouTubers sometimes, and some, comic creators, where not only are we like struggling because, we don't have that much money, or we're figuring out getting our feet wet in terms of how to do this whole thing. But when people act like that's the way things are supposed to be, it makes my soul itch, because no, like, I know that Eric July is like he's in a different situation than a lot of people, because he had so much of his own money to put into a startup business and has years in business success and other ventures. But that doesn't mean that there's not things we can take from him in that regard. And the idea that we're just supposed to do stuff that's going to literally financially ruin us and kill any passion that we may have. Like, I've seen a lot of people start and then within months to a couple years end up stopping because of this very thing. So the fact that this guy is encouraging people to do stuff this way, knowing that it's going to ruin them, destroy any drive they have, because it's hard to be passionate about your story when you can't keep the lights on and your baby ain't got food in their belly, like.
Well, like, so the reason why I put up My Sexy Witch Academia, it was twofold. Number one, I had this experiment. If you guys know, I have another account, which is my main account, which is under Tyler Carpenter, Draw and Talk Comics, and it's a very successful account on Kickstarter, and I've grown it. But I was like, man, I haven't fulfilled Growth and Megafist yet. I don't want to have a project that's unfulfilled on another account, on my main account. And I was telling Nicholas, I was like, dude, like right now, I just, say his name 3 times, he appears. What's up, Nicholas?
Wow.
Beetlejuice. Wait, is Beetlejuice the one we say it 3 times?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is 3 times. Candyman, right. I think, is 5 times.
Okay, well, 5 more, two more times, and then we're in the diggity bomb.
I remember watching Supernatural one night by myself, and the episode was Bloody Mary, and if you say Bloody Mary 3 times, like, she comes out and she kills you. And I remember just like laughing, watching it, be like, oh, that's so stupid, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Yeah, let's just stop. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get myself.
You had to say that in the mirror, though, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. My bedroom at the time was connected to my bathroom sink, and there was just a big ass mirror. Like there, and I looked at the mirror and I went, yeah, fuck that. Welcome, Nicholas. So we just came at a good time, because we're just starting the show. We're just starting to talk about like the starving artist mentality. I was saying with My Sexy Witch, like this campaign was twofold. Number one, it was like, I want to do this experiment with Kickstarter, but then 2, and I remember telling you, Nicholas, like in private, I was like, dude, like my family's so broke right now. like I need something to like just keep our head in the above the water. And that was another reason why I put up this campaign. And it's crazy how so I got a message yesterday from someone, and they were saying, hey, it's cool that I see you're making other comics, but you should chill out on like the expansion is basically what they said. And
I'm expansion, like doing more than just one book.
Correct. And I was like,
I get that all the time.
So it like really bothered me, and they went on this big rant on like you should just stick with like this one property, and this is why. And I was like, okay, but like I'm like at a point now where I'm kind of like I can put out more stuff, and they're like, yeah, but like I don't like that. And it was a creator who said that, and I was like, geez. And I actually talked to Travis Gibb today about it, because I was like, dude, like you put out a book like every like month or two, like do you ever get pushback from people? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, this is so shocking, because like Scott Snyder can announce his like 10th like project, and everyone's like, yes, but like an indie person saying, hey, I'm gonna make another project, it's like no one's putting a gun to your head to buy the book. If you like it, buy it. If not, that's okay. Right. Like hopefully I can provide you something else. And it's just crazy that like we'll talk about it in the stream, that like there are some really weird perceptions about indie creators in the community, and I think in Eric July's stream showcased a lot of that. Real quick, let me get into the chat. We have 27 people here. I gotta put Eric July's face on the thumbnail more.
Right.
Let's see. Let me get through some of these. Rob Curio says, I really don't see a problem charging customers $35 for comics, depending on the page number, materials. But comics I read cost around 10 to 15, so I've been having a great deal for years. Let's see. The market this is from Bear Army. The market competition will decide where my money goes. Team Lim and Pellegrini so far have the best deal around. Massive. Damn you, Tyler. I backed your Secret Sexy Witch comic campaign. Thank you. And I couldn't help but get the naughty $5 add-on. You got me. By the way, guys, I will say this. I did the math. This will be the only time I ever do that add-on. So if you want something like that, grab it, because I'm never doing that again.
Not a game. It's not a game.
Howdy, Anime. Let's see.
Alexander.
Please teach me how you make successful indie comics. I started my LLC in 2021. Step 1, make a good comic. After that, if you can learn how to do that, you can get step 1, learn how to make a good comic. Step 2, just go on YouTube and type in how to make a business.
Then cry.
And then cry. If there were sexy witch feet, Anime would be fine with it.
I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, but I backed it anyway, so I mean, I'm fine even sans feet, but if it was sexy feet of witch feet in it, I probably would have backed the higher tiers.
I'm broke because I actually care about the art, unlike you grifter. Yeah, man, it was.
I got that same complaint a little while ago about not caring about the art, and I didn't know how to tell them that like I kind of suck, and it's not the quality. It's just like I actually suck at art, so it's like, huh?
Wait, you said this?
No, someone was complaining about the quality of my work, and just like you put out too much and it all sucks. And I'm like, well, thanks. Cool.
Like, what do you want me to do with that information,
like,
sir?
Okay, stop buying it then. No, keep buying. Support it. It will get better.
Oh, they're a person who buys it, and they made that complaint.
I don't know how they're getting it. They didn't really elaborate on that part.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where that's definitely a hard one, because you're like, you need to put out content, but also like we're like in this, like, that's another thing with the indie scene is like I do think that like grace needs to be given to people who are like growing. Like, you're not gonna get Greg Capullo art from me, or like Murata One Punch Man art from me. Like, you're never gonna get that. Maybe in 10 or 20 years, maybe. Like, something I'll say is regardless of what you think of the guy, you can't say that EVS is not a good artist.
Oh
He's
no,
a
absolutely.
he's a-
Anybody who
yeah.
fixes their mouth to say that is we call ye old liar. Yeah, definitely. No,
Yeah,
we
like
got to be real, man. We got to be real about this.
exactly. Like he will be considered one of like the best like DC artists. We got Larry here. Say hi to the Niobe stream. I think they're stream sniping us. What's
Yo,
up?
what's up?
What's up, Rebel Comics? So like, so yeah, that's always a hard one. I always say if someone goes, "Oh, like your book sucks," I always just go, "I'm sorry."
I just say thank you. Like I've had people had me on. I think the first stream I went on about Bond of the Blade. Somebody, the guy who had me on afterwards was like, "Yeah, I couldn't stay into it. It just lost my whatever." And I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, thanks for talking to me about it anyway." Because I still ended up getting some fans that I still have to this day through that guy's stream. So his one lack of continued support didn't really do anything.
Yeah, you just have to get like really people just need to give indie creators some grace. I always go, hey, this is where I was 5 years ago.
Oh God, Tyler, I can't do this. Every time you show this panel, man.
I go, this is where I was 5 years ago. And this is what I've got for right now for Sexy Witch.
What's the difference? I don't see the difference. I'm joking.
That's funny. But it's somewhat.
I was gonna say, if I could chime in though, sometimes indie is too broad in general. That we like when we say, "Oh, I support indie." Are you supporting all indie? Because like it's like manga. There's different genres, different appeals. Like whatever book, the Blade. What was the name of your book? The Blade.
Oh, Bond of the Blade.
Bond of the Blade. Like it may not have even just been his type of thing that he's into.
Right.
And like I think that's one thing that we all kind of get stuck on is like there's so many different genres in the indies, but we all get lumped together, but we're not all the same.
Exactly. And shout out to Tyler for pulling it up. My man was ready. He's like,
yeah, I have that shit up. So everyone go roast Bond of the Blade and
absolutely.
But rule, you have to, before you can roast it, you have to read all 15 episodes and then
actually,
you can
it's actually on Global Comics as well, and there's some brand new stuff that I just posted a few days ago.
Oh, word!
So if you want to go there and roast it there, so you can roast the absolute peak new art, please come by and tell me how much my artist and story sucks. Please.
There we go. As well, while we're chilling, I'm putting links in the chat. Also, guys, go check out Demon Hunter Raven Volume 5 and the Divine Anomaly Omnibus. Look at that. Can we get...
That looks terrible. Don't sign up. Reverse psychology.
Now, all I'm saying is I can look at this and I can tell that this is going to be charged like $5 because clearly it was drawn with art and passion, and there was like no corners cut, which means you should be charging at most 30 cents for it.
I'm going to go above and beyond $100 per the lowest tier, and you get 5 pages.
So to let everyone know what's going on, we're gonna watch. I've got this clip. So it was an hour and a half stream. I clipped it. I clipped just this minute of it because that's how long you can clip on YouTube. And basically, what's going down is, well, actually, I can go here to my Twitter, and so let's see. Can you guys? No, probably can't hear this. Basically, this person came onto Eric July's stream and said that they didn't like that Eric charged $35 for his book. Now, I'm going to say this. I, too, didn't like that Eric charged $35 for his book. But I just went, oh, shame. I'm not going to back this book. And then I moved on with my life. And I respect Eric July. If Eric wants to do freaking $35 for his book, if he wants to do, there's a book right now that's on crowdfunding, and the book is $70 base for the physical.
Oh.
And I looked at that because I really wanted it. And when the campaign went live, I just went, like, I can't back this. Like,
What's the page count?
it's a graphic novel, and it's full colored, and the book's super funded. So the person, it's one of those things where, like, this person has a fan base. They know their fan base. Their fan base is okay with spending that much money. So, like, it's fine. Just like Eric July, he has a fan base. He knows his fan base is okay with spending $35. So, like, it's his business, and you shouldn't, like, get angry at someone for charging, the money that they think that their product is worth. For me, I saw it and I went, I think I could use $35 and get like two or three other books on crowdfunding. And so it's one of those things where it's like, you can be not okay with what a creator priced their stuff, but it doesn't mean that it was wrong for the creator to price their book the way they did. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
No one should be able to
literally
charge.
none of your business. Like, to be completely honest, it is quite literally none of your business. If, like you said, if a creator, based on the work that goes into it and what they think their product is worth, if they give it a price, and Eric could have given it the $35 price tag, and his entire audience could have went, nah, man, that's too rich for my blood. And then he would have learned, okay, I put it out here. I thought it was worth this. The market determined something else. Got to do something else next time. But there was a market for it. If he puts it out there, people are willing to spend that much. And just like Tyler, a lot of people looked at it, was like, too rich for my blood. Okay, just like everybody ain't out here buying Jordans. Everybody not going to Roof Chris every night to eat dinner. But people who think that the product or the service is worth that price, if they have the money to spend, they're willing to get it. There's no problem with that. Like, that's the beauty of this thing called the free market. People can price it however they want, and the people who want it at that price will then spend that money, and that's really all it is to it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, so the Tasha and Shining book is $1,500. Not everything is for everybody. Exactly. So this is the crazy part. So this is where we can get into the discussion. Is so they argue about, and then he says, well, why? And I think Eric goes, well, why? Eric says, before I clip the clip where it starts, he says, if I had charged less than $35, my business would not be in a good place, profit wise. And then the guy goes, don't tie in business with art. So here we go. Let me know, guys, if you guys can't hear this. Also, let me know, guys, if you guys cannot hear Nicholas or Animane, because I'm using this stupid interface and I don't know how it works still. Okay, let me know if you guys can, or let me look at my settings real quick. Okay, so far I think I'm on the right track. Let me know if you guys cannot hear this.
Amount of profit.
Can you hear that? Could you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, chat. Now it's your turn. All right, let's do this.
Amount of profit.
All right. Well, it wouldn't have matched if I sold it at $5. I would be broke right now.
That's just how it works.
Well, that's not how it works. I think that's
a lot of people who make indie comics are fucking broke.
And that's the
a lot of people.
Why you don't understand? That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
I think that it adds to how they passionately work on it.
Okay, so all right. Well, I'm gonna vehemently disagree with that point. I don't feel like they should be broke if they're talented. And there's a demand for their work.
I did not say that.
I don't want them to be broke.
I did not say that they are broke if they are talented.
I didn't say that you said that if they are broke. I never said that. I never.
Oh, then it goes crazy. I will say, guys, Eric July is one of the hairiest people I've ever seen. But that's a side note. That's part of his. That's part of his character.
It's his brand. It's his part of his brand to take it back to caveman, and it's working. So, I mean, hell.
But there's so much to unpack. When the guy goes,
that's
just how it works.
Well,
it's just how it works.
It's a weird
it's
statement.
what do you Nicholas, what do you feel when someone says like that's just how it works? The being broke is like that's just how it works.
So, without knowing who this individual is that's talking to Eric, we know quite a bit about Eric. So I'm assuming this guy doesn't run a business and is more on the customer end. So he's either inept to the business side of things or how like staying in the game. Like I think we can all agree, like getting into comics can be kind of a feat, can be a struggle, but once you get in there, like and you break out. Now the question is, did you break even? Did you make a profit? Can you continue? Like staying in comics is 10 times harder than breaking into comics, which is such a sad thing to say. That when he says that's just the way it is. Well, what about all the innovations we've had throughout our centuries of like, why does it have to stay that way? Like we bring entrepreneurs to actually go, there's a better way. And like, that's why like they'll hire people in these businesses to say, we need to up profits. We need to bring in more money. So why is that wrong for comics to say, no, we need to change paths. We need to change the way that this is happening. We'll see that with manga across the board where they'll just go, we need to do this differently. Unless you're Kodansha and you say, let's just dump all our good ideas and do something stupid.
Okay. We can talk about, we should talk. I don't know if you guys aren't busy on Friday, we can talk about this. I'm going live on Friday, but I did learn about the Kodansha app. It's not a new app. They just brought it to America. So that's how it is in Japan.
Oh.
And that's how all of their manga apps are like in Japan. They all have the coin system. It's only Viz who does subscription because Viz is they said in the article is the only Japanese manga company that cares about international readers. And so Kodansha and all these other publishers use the coin system in Japan, and that's why it's not popular here in America, but in Japan that's what everyone's doing is the coin system. Just thought I'd give them a little white flag of like
if I could just add one little subtle here thing is him saying that like that's just the way it is. I know that we don't openly air a lot of the grievances or the things that are said behind the scenes with people because that's just not cool. But it's interesting how many other creators do have the mentality of like the crabs in a bucket sort of thing, that if they see someone maybe getting ahead, there's like pats on the back, but then they're actually behind the scenes degrading you and talking ill of you, like, oh, you made some money, even regardless of how you make that money. Like the want to prosper and see other people rise above that and actually do good. A lot of times there's envy, jealousy, because they can't see that we're all in this indie sphere, like I said earlier, but we're all different. We're all fighting our own path, and not a lot of people can see that my success doesn't hinder your success, and your success doesn't hinder my success. It just means that we need to go about it differently. But to say that one person's business is the only way to run it, or this is the predominant way to do it, just doesn't work across the board. If I charge $5 just for my stuff, I would be in a very bad position as well.
Right. And I think it's interesting having this talk about how diverse and how different things are with how we make our comics, how we run our comic businesses. And it's weird because I remember, Tyler, on one show a while ago, you were talking about how I believe it was you and it may have been Brian Ball, it may be somebody else, but you were talking to someone about how they would like switch up their page count between issues, and you asked him like, well, why did you do that? And he was just like, because I wanted to. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, that was Brian.
Yep, and that mentality I think is crucial to success here. Like, yes, there are proven things that work overall, but you have to tailor it for your own model. You know, just because these people are doing, you know, standard 20 to 30 page floppies or whatever doesn't mean I have to or you have to. You know, I've been doing Bond of the Blade technically for, you know, going on 2 years now, completely free, and I haven't made a penny off of that yet, but I'm building up a fan base so that when I do start releasing issues, I have someone who's more ready to be like, yes, I want that, I want to spend money on that, you know. And we don't have to do things a certain way. There's not one set way to do things, and particularly if that way is gonna make your ass broke. like old boy is talking about here, and that whole crabs in a barrel mentality of not wanting to see others in our scene succeed. I feel like a lot of people feel like they're supportive, like I'm sure this guy does in his own fucked up way. But when you're encouraging people to do something that is definitely going to lead to their financial ruin, that is not support. That is not encouragement. That is a very toxic part of our community that needs to be,
It's
spanked.
it's very pro. It's like something. It's like it's so in the times. Pro victim all like we're
Yeah.
so like, yeah, you're like a victim. Like you should be so proud that you're a victim. You should be proud that you're broke. You should be proud. And it's like, why? I was there. What was it? Oh, I saw something earlier today. They were mad that oh, they were mad. This journalist was mad that Mr. Beast did a video curing people's deafness. And he's like, not everyone wants to have not everyone like wants to have their deafness cured. Like, why is this a problem that they're deaf? Like, why is it a problem that you're deaf? Like, and it's like, I get, and then if you go into like this person's profile, they go like, so and so, they deaf journalist, and you go,
Some people just live to hate.
Well, but when I saw in their bio it said I'm a deaf journalist, you go, oh, so like you monetize your victimhood of like, because if he's curing deafness, well then and I could get the cure. I'm like, well, why would I get the cure for deafness when that's who I am? I'm a deaf person, and
Which everyone has the right to use whatever means they want to market themselves. It just doesn't mean that it's always in the favor of everyone, though. But like, there seems to be like this issue with like Mr. Beast or Eric, and whether you hate him or love him, like this notion that their way is wrong doesn't affect your business. Like, go out and do what you need to do.
Exactly. Not just that, like like another thing that I hate seeing is when people like get angry at indie creators. This actually came up on my stream when I was talking about My Sexy Witch, and then I'm kind of seeing it in the chat here, and people have said it with Eric July as they go. At least in my stream, a particular creator came on. I invited them on. We're still very friendly. I have no beef with this person. They're very nice. But they said, Tyler, the only reason why you fund is because you're popular. And I was like, thanks. W. I was like, I am finally, man. But they said, well, it's because you're popular. And I also have had several other people though go, well, it's easy for you to say you have 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I woke up and they were just like there.
They just showed up.
Right.
They just showed up. Which, by the way, guys, they're non-existent. And so part of it is like when people hate on Eric July and they go, oh, well, he has a pre-existing audience and he sold something to them. Oh, he has a pre-existing audience. Oh, it's like, yeah, he has a pre-existing audience. Like, if, that's what you want. That's why, like, comic book, that's why. So, like, for example, the DC comic book Identity Crisis was written by Brad Meltzer. That was Brad's very first comic book, I think. Brad isn't a comic book writer though. He has like one of the top 10 most influential DC comics ever made. He's not a comic book creator. He was a very famous crime novelist. And they go, "Oh, we should bring this guy in for the notoriety." It's this, and so it's the same thing with Marvel and DC. Like, Marvel's doing that comic with the Riddler Year One with Paul Dano. Is Paul Dano the actor? Is that book going to sell because of the Riddler, or is it going to sell because Paul Dano the actor did it? Same with Keanu Reeves, Berserk. Like, it shouldn't be demonized that there are people who have built audiences are able to sell comics. And instead of that mentality of, it has nothing to do with comics. If anything, it's like, why aren't then more creators trying to have their own built-in audience? Like, it doesn't just happen. How come more creators aren't thinking about how do I get my own built-in audience? Instead, they complain about other people. Go, oh well, they just have built an audience, so it's not fair. It's like, okay, well, how come you don't have yours? How come you don't have yours? Why are you demonizing people who have
also,
one?
Why is it so wrong that he built up an audience based upon the way he did, then sold them a comic? But where is the injustice there? Like, why does that matter? Why is it bad that he set the price point that he did? Like, I'm just having a hard time understanding like why he can't do it the way he wants to do. If you don't like it, you obviously don't have to support him, and go support the people you want to. Like, that's at the end of the day, you're giving him more platform talking about it. If you don't enjoy his stuff, don't want anything to do with it. But who are you rallying behind? Like, who are the indie creators you're supporting when you're spending all your time making sure that he's being told he's doing something wrong? Regardless of whether it is right or wrong, it doesn't matter. He's not hurting anyone.
I also don't like, and where is it? This is our boy Dalabar. He says Eric July is a clown. He's not a comic creator. He's a media personality who made merch. So, but that just makes me go, why can't a comic be considered merch? Like why can't that be considered merch? What's the problem with someone? I just don't see the problem with that.
And to that point, let's take that point about the merch. Let's obviously we're talking about Eric July here, but let's look at Common America. Let's look at Tim Lemon, Mark Pellegrini. Like, they have a great product with Common America, with Black Hops, with all that. But a lot of the money they make from their campaigns also comes from people who want the larger tiers. They want the standees. They want the figures. They want the variant covers. They want the albums. You know, they want all that stuff. When we're talking about the indie creator, the indie comic creator sphere, especially in terms of the crowdfunding side or the pre-order campaign side, it is oftentimes bigger than just the book. It's the book and the merch and the promotion and the personality attached to the book. That's why Eric July or EVS or your boy Zach or whoever, a lot of their support does come from their audiences, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's where we see that mixture of the business side of things and the artistic creative side of things. And the fact of the matter is, if you want sustainable success, especially as an indie, I'm not going to say you absolutely have to do both, but right now I think in our current culture, that's the best way to do it. If you can find a way to combine some sort of social media or content creator following with your art and make a business out of it. Because if all you want to do is literally just get out here and make art, there's ways to do that, but I don't think it's productive to come to people who are taking the route of content creator plus comic creator and saying that that's wrong or that's not really comics. Like, I don't think that's the move.
Let's see. We have this is from Delicake. We love Delicake. The only time I was mad that someone sold to their pre-existing audience was because I didn't put the work to be able to do the same thing. That's
for real though. That can be terrible.
Wendy Gale says, if it's so wrong, hi Wendy, how are you doing? I'm so glad that you're here. If it's so wrong to try to sell books by having people with credit involved, how many indie creators use variant covers from cred-heavy artists to sell their book? Whoa.
It's T-Sip.
That is 100% true. 100%. I won't deny if the comic comes with an action figure, I'll shill the dollars for it because I'm a sucker for having more than one representation of the book/character. Right. Even if the comic sucks, free market principles still apply. Fair enough. Panels on pages. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making a comic as merch. Lots of people do it. It's what most movie tie-in comics are. The problem I have is that people who don't make comics telling people who make comics how to do it. Eric July doesn't make comics. He has nothing to talk about when it comes to how to make your comics or how to structure your campaigns. So I think I was actually having this discussion with one of my coworkers. and we were talking about because recently in Utah, a mother, it was the article said an author who wrote a book about her dying husband got caught being the murderer, and we were talking about how like, well, is it fair to call her an author because she only wrote one book? And I was like, oh, that's an interesting statement. That you said that to my coworkers, like, yeah, like she's not an author, she's only written one book. And I was like, oh, how many books do you have to write to be considered an author? And it got boiled down to the point where he was like, well, she's a real estate agent, like she wrote one book after her husband died and blah blah. But it makes you wonder then, so like Eric July doesn't make comics, so I've actually heard a lot of people say that Eric July is not a comic book creator. What would then get him to that status? That's what I would ask. If he's only made ISOM #1, can you say that he's a comic creator after ISOM #2 or the third book or the fourth book, or like I guess when can people who say Eric July isn't a comic creator, at one point, how many more books does he have to have before they can say, okay, he is a comic book creator?
By the sounds of it, they won't give him that. But also it just so I'm going back to the comment here. It says the problem. People that don't make comics, telling people how to make comics, and I'm not a regular viewer. I don't really partake in his stuff, so I only know him through this campaign in which he brought in a lot of money. So he obviously knows how to gain an audience, which we all would love to learn from. But why does he have to talk about how to make? What's this comment say? How to structure your campaigns, how to make a comic to be considered going off what Tyler said, to be considered a comic.
Do you know why? It's because of the shit that we've talked about. And we're kind of doing that on this stream, but we talk about not doing this. Is that in the indie comic scene, the content that most creators make is content for other creators.
Yeah.
And that's what they see. That's what a lot of indie creators think is how you build an audience, is you make content for other creators. You talk about your Kickstarter campaign. You talk about how I did this, how I did this variant was $20 and I was able to, and like that, because that's just, and it kind of goes back to like what that guy said. That's just how it is. And, that's what a lot of indie creators think is being successful, is that's the kind of content you make.
If we go off of Panels on Page's comment that because he doesn't talk about how to make your comics and how to structure your campaign, by definition, I am not a comic creator either, and I've put out 10 books.
Well, it's about time you finally had some introspection, Nicholas. I wasn't going to tell you that, but I'm glad that you finally realized it. It's about time.
Finally went off. The light bulb finally went off.
It's about.
Is this an intervention?
The whole point of this was us to look at Eric July and finally get to the point where you go, wait, maybe I'm not a comic book creator.
Right.
Guys, I'm a hack.
Thank you. Finally coming out. At least you're honest now.
I'm now going to be charging $70 per book.
Yes.
I need to make up for this grief.
Oh my gosh.
But random question I have. If we're using the bar of entry for comic creators is basically, well, he's not showing how he did this, how he did that, and to piggyback off the point, I think he doesn't do that, at least not on his main channel, because he knows that's not what his audience would watch. Like, he's not gonna. Yeah. He knows most of his audience is made up of people who are on the consumer side. So if he made a bunch of content that was focused purely on showing people like the nuts and bolts of how to do stuff, those videos would make a fraction of what even his lowest performing videos do now. And
you just brought in money. How dare you?
And if you go to he actually has a channel for the Rippaverse that's completely separate from his main content, and it's all like behind the scenes stuff, meeting the team, seeing what goes into like the average work day. And I know at some point he even had content that was being really transparent about how much it costs even to make all this stuff. And whether that's on his Rippaverse channel or his main channel, those videos don't really do big numbers, but he does have that content out there. So I don't think that's a that's a fair not accusation, but a fair bar to put on him, that he doesn't say, XYZ 1 2 3, because he does. It's just not his main focus, because at the end of the day, his YouTube still has to, do something. And for better or for worse, he knows that doing a monetize your haters or talking about the latest thing out that sucks is going to do 10 times as much as if he made a bunch of content that was just like, here's how I did this. That's why those videos he does like that are few and far between, relatively speaking.
As well, like in this video, he tells the person, he goes, like, I'm a business. Real quick, do you guys know the channel Colin and Samir on YouTube?
Sounds familiar.
If you guys don't, go check them out. They're really cool. But they're very like behind the scenes on YouTube, and they'll bring in like big creators, and like they'll do like an hour-long interview like on all the like how did you grow, blah blah. It's super stuff.
Yeah.
And but they just created a new channel called Creator Support, where they just like they take questions, and someone went, "Hey, Colin Samir, big time fan of yours, been watching you guys for 10 years. You guys don't take any more risks. Why is that? Like in terms of content?" And they basically said, you're right. We don't take a lot of risks anymore on our content, because when we used to, it was just us. Now we have 5 employees who depend on our money. You had Charlie D'Amelio. She's the biggest TikTok star, crying on camera because she says, if I don't make 10 TikToks this week, like my family all quit their jobs so that I could do this. Now that might be a little exploitative. You have Eric July telling this person that so far this year, he has spent $100,000 on payroll.
Right.
So at that point, you have people who are dependent on you for their livelihood. So now you as a business owner, like for all 3 of us, we can do whatever the fuck we want. But when you are someone like Eric, who's someone's like putting food on their table is dependent on you making money, and he's a content creator business. So if Eric doesn't put out content and feed his audience, then that means not only that means that he's not going to get money, but worse now is his employees not going to get any money. And so I think people
ain't gonna get money. His wife ain't gonna get money. If he got any babies on the way, they in utero not getting no money. It's real easy to talk about this, that, and the third when you ain't got mouths to feed, employees, families. But nothing else needs to be said on that point. It is what it is.
What I really need to know is how much money this guy needs to make to buy a shirt with a damn collar. I'm with you, Dillard. I'm with you, man.
Infinity.
A lot of consumers don't care about the sausages made. Agreed. It's just so niche. Like, it's stuff that we only care about as creators. Wendy Gale, I think we need to make comics for readers, but can't help but to win over other creators because we all need validation.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that is 100%. A good point.
This is interesting again. Dalibor, by the way, I know people might be jumping at you on the comments, but I am appreciative that you are here. Because I like seeing the other side. So I would like to refute this real quick. So, you might say rage baiter because you don't like the stuff that he spews. But we have penguins right here. Do you guys know who Moist Critical is?
Oh, yeah.
He's the cow.
So
he's got a comic. You know that?
Correct. So all he does all day, guys, go see the Boogeyman. So all he does all day, every single day, he puts out a video of like the latest news and whatnot. But he has a comic in the very, very back called God Slap. 5 issues. Would people, even though he does drama content all day, every day on his channel, YouTube drama is ridiculous. Most insecure podcast. He's talking about Nick Avocado and his weight, celebrating, James Corden leaving. He does all kinds of videos. He is also as a drama, and I don't like drama farmer. What is that? What he said?
Oh, Outrage Farmer.
Yeah, Outrage Farmer. I think I would call them content farmers because they are looking for content that they can then commentate on it.
Well, and also to just give clarity here, outrage drama sells and gets clicks better. Unfortunately, the more positive you are, unfortunately, it does not generate the same traffic in the algorithms. And Twitter runs the same way. So the more you incite outrage or drama, the more clicks you get. It's all part of the way you kind of market stuff. Is you get people kind of up in arms about stuff. So to say that,
especially for commentary, like no one wants to hear positive commentary. This story made me feel really good. Like, great.
No, people want the drama, and I think especially in the like disgruntled fan nerd side of YouTube, catharsis is such a big selling point, and Eric is somebody who people can look at and say, hey, he's one of us. He loves this stuff, has loved it his whole life, and he's pissed off about the direction it's going in just like we are. He's giving like a voice to people. I know people who straight up, I would get in discussions with them on Twitter and they would reply with like a Eric July video and be like, hey, he says it better than I ever could. So he's, for better or for worse, I'm not saying you have to agree with what he's doing or like it, but he is sort of giving a voice to people and speaking to a lot of people's experiences. And it just so happens that people are more motivated to support through voicing frustration than just saying, hey, I saw this new thing, or let me show you how I made my own comic book or something like that.
So there's this reoccurring thing being said that these people are selling merch and it happens to be the comic. And okay, we're going to get more into the shop talk here. And the unfortunate part is the industry is not like what it used to be.
By the way, here you go, Dalabar. He said that he's not a comic book creator because it was a merch drop and you can't buy Godslap anymore. Here you go. Oh, it's sold out. But you can get issue 1, and I also know that these are all digitally on Global Comics.
Nice.
Or eBay. I'm sure you can get one on eBay.
Yeah, and the methods of how things are distributed now are so much more different than what they were in the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s that many people aren't looking to do the traditional way of getting it into a shop. A lot of people want to do it through like limited offers. Like I am pretty much through Kickstarter and then the few items that I have in my online store. By that definition, I don't qualify either. But I do it for a living, so that's kind of weird.
So, I'm just glad that Nicholas is realizing everything today.
I'm just having a terrible night, guys.
You do it for a living. It's everything you do. But yeah, you're just not it. Also, shout out to JoJo for making it on time. By on time, you mean an hour, but it's fine.
Yeah, we're ending this in like 10 minutes. Brandon Walton says, Charlie is the perfect comparison. He does reaction videos and live streams video games for a living, but he still sold a comic to people in his audience who were interested. To be honest, this is from Dillard. To be honest, people who want creators to stay small and personally interactive with every follower reeks of ego, selfishness, and frankly sounds like Comey gobbledygook.
There's a lot of words.
I just think a lot like it's kind of what you were starting to go at, Nicholas, is that this person in Eric's stream goes, that's just the way that it is. And people don't realize, and like most creators, and we've talked about this a million times, is most creators don't realize that they're living in the age of 2023. This is how you publish comics now.
Yeah.
This is how you publish anything. This is how you produce products now, is in some form or of another, you have to be a content creator of some sort. You have to learn how to get good at the internet.
Yeah.
And
if you want to sell something, people have to be able to find you and connect with you in some form or another.
Yes. And even if you're really good at creating, even if you're like, well, I don't want to be in front of the camera, I'll just create Facebook ads. Facebook ads require content. So like either a post or a video. So regardless, you're going to have to learn how to create content. This is the stuff that I talk to authors every single day in my day job. And I actually put my 2 weeks in today.
Oh dang!
So I will not be working
shit.
there anymore. So I can't say that anymore, that I work at a publisher.
Former
yeah,
employee.
Yeah, former. You know what's funny is I still have all the speaking engagements signed up, like still for like speaking at writers conferences.
Guys, in a month, make sure you show up to Tyler's stream where he starts airing all the dirty laundry that he.
Let me tell you guys
on.
the real secrets. No, it's actually funny because I'm working for a company that does AI now.
Spill the beans.
Yeah, everyone's gonna hate me about here's the thing, guys. I'm the most pro AI comic book creator, and like I'm having a debate stream in 2 weeks about it.
Shit.
But like when people say like, don't get me wrong, I don't like a lot of things that AI. I use it in a certain way. I like using I use AI every single day. In fact, check this shit out. For my YouTube shorts, these two were created by AI.
Interesting. How do I report them?
So I mean, as in it was cut. It was all cut and edited, and all this text was done by AI. Same with like I made this video, but then they were the one that cut it, spliced it, put the whatever crap on it, the captions and whatnot. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm like very pro AI, and I like using AI, and I like seeing like what it can do. But it's one of those things where I honestly believe. So I believe that if you're not making content right now, that as a comic book creator, you're gonna get severely left behind. And then I believe in 10 years, once we've figured out all this AI stuff, that if you're not using AI, you're gonna be severely left behind. Hopefully all the AI fixes everything.
And as I think the question boils down to is AI, how is it being used morally so that people aren't being like put into these fiascos where their stuff's being integrated into filters and stuff that shouldn't be.
100%. And when people say, Tyler, you like use AI every single day, I don't use AI art. I use a lot of other AI programs because I don't like a lot of the AI art stuff. Panels on pages. Tell me what ISOM is about. You can't because he sold it on identity politics while yelling about people using identity politics. Can any of you guys tell me what ISOM is about? If not, I can.
Yeah. What I vaguely remember is it's about a retired hero coming back to deal with some. I don't remember the full thing, but
wait, I'm like, are you just reading this comment and then I'll realize it was you that?
It's me. It's me. It's me. He literally talked about it in every stream that he talked about, while he also talked to his audience about his usual stuff. So there's a lot of misleading assumptions that Panels on Page is not honestly making here. That he just wants to make his point, which is fine. He can totally do that. He has all the right to have his opinion, but he's not making them honestly now, which is.
I'll say this. If you
want to make these points, you should do them in earnest.
I will say, can anyone tell me right here tonight what My Sexy Witch Academia is about? From this stream?
Oh, no.
Like, we haven't talked about it once. I've gained 10 backers since we started the stream. Thank you, everyone. I think the point is, and it's kind of what this person in the comments said, is we never discuss the story of ISOM because it doesn't matter. Person offers product, people buy or not buy. That's where it all ends.
I don't know if I agree with that.
What I mean by this, what I think, because I'm gonna go with the fact that I think that they lost there's not enough word count. I'll go like currently in the stream we haven't discussed like our books personally, but then if you have an audience and then they offer you the product, you can then go and check out that product. Yeah. And if people want to see it, like I hope that everyone who's backed My Sexy Witch Academia today through this stream, like, went through the campaign and made their decision. And I think a lot of people did that with ISOM. Like I did. I went through that campaign page and read the story, watched the trailer, and I went, this isn't for me. And other people, here's another thing. Other people saw the comic book and went, some people saw the comic book and went, I really like the story, I'm going to back it. Other people saw the comic book and went, Eric July has provided me hours upon hours of free entertainment for the last how many years? I'm going to buy it to support him because I've never bought anything for him. And I think both are okay. I bought every Scott Snyder book for years just because it was Scott Snyder. Until he disappointed me with the metal. Dark Knight's metal.
That was a weird story.
What?
That was a weird story.
It was too weird for me. It was too weird for me. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I guess, why do you think it matters so much though? Why do you think other people are so fixated on the fact that he made money on this?
Yeah, and I'm, as someone who did support Eric and did buy the book because I was interested in the book, like I can say, like there's a bunch of content creators I follow on YouTube who have books. I support the creator, but I have not bought their book because the book either is outside of my wheelhouse or wasn't interesting enough for me to say, I want to spend money on this. Maybe I'd read it for free, but currently don't have an interest in buying it. So I think it's kind of disingenuous to take all of the success and just say, oh, it's just because identity politics. Like, sure, there are people who believe in his vision more because they want to stick it to the mainstream or whatever. But by that same logic, there are also, just like you said, Tyler, there are people who support it because they're also interested in him as a creator and the book itself. Like, it's really not fair to just say, oh, it's just because of identity politics. And as someone who also did watch a lot of the promo content, what are the identity politics? Like, we don't have to get into it necessarily, but I'm interested in knowing what particular identity politics are there that he was selling, other than, you know, we're gonna respect you as readers, we're gonna give you quality content, and you don't have to worry about no like bullshit with us. Like, what's the identity politics that's being sold?
If the this is how it goes argument goes, you have someone like Mags Visagia who was on I think like their 6th GoFundMe this year.
Mm-hmm. Can't pay for nothing.
Can't pay for shit. She doesn't offer any books or comics. She's like, I don't have any work. No one's buying my comics. I can't sell comics. I can't make comics. So all she does is GoFundMes with her audience. She doesn't even provide them anything. So at least, yeah. I think regardless, and we'll end it on this. There's nothing wrong with supporting people you like, but that's not selling comics. That's selling merch. And to me, I go, that's just to me, that's not a comic creator. And I think to me, that's just semantics. And I think that's just semantics. Selling a comic is selling a comic. Selling a t-shirt, selling a t-shirt.
Agreed.
Doug Ernst. If someone doesn't like Doug, how you doing, man? If someone doesn't like Mr. July, then fine. But you only make yourself look silly by saying he's not a creator. He is a creator, just not a creator you like. There we go.
Absolutely, that's on point. On point.
On point. Because you know what? If Mr. Beast comes out, you know, have you guys ever watched Mr. Beast? Do you know the dude Carl? One of the guys is named Carl, and he has a deal with Dark Horse to produce comics, and he's done several issues. None of us have heard it. Why? Because we're not his audience. He sells those books to his audience.
Then again, it is Dark Horse, so I mean, who's heard of any of it?
Exactly. And so, yeah, I just at the end of the day, yeah. And I think I'm going to say this. If you make actual comics and sell hold on, but for Eric July, those two are the same thing. T-shirt equals comic for him. You make actual comics and sell the comics based on comics. And
I'm glad this guy's telling us a lot about comics, but his same advice earlier is he doesn't want people that don't make comics to tell people how to make comics. Pages of Panel, I don't know you. I don't want to riff on you. I'm not saying, don't think I'm harping on you, but do you make comics? Before we even take advice from you or hear you out, we have to go by your own word use. Do you make comics? If you do, tell us the steps, how this is done. in any shape or form and how this should be done. If you don't care about that, then lead us in this direction. What is it? Okay, so you do. Then what does it matter? Let other people do what they want to do. It does not matter.
This is Dalabar, by the way. I'll totally bring him on the show if you guys want. If you guys got another 30 minutes.
Yeah, I got time.
Dalabar in the chat if you want to.
It's so hard to talk to people through chat and address the things.
Yeah, we'll let Dalabar. But I think
we're all on the same page, but it's just annoying.
I don't think we're. I've talked with Dalabar a couple times. I don't think we're.
I mean in terms of politeness.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's coming off annoying, but it's not.
I will say, Dalabar, hit me up on Facebook if you want me to send you the link, and I will. All three of us, if you guys didn't know, the three of us, me, Anime, and Nicholas, we're in a DM group where we're like the only thing that we really talk about. See you, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here. Tell Chuck I said hi. Where we talk about YouTube. We don't really talk about comics. We talk about YouTube and our YouTube strategy and how can we create content. And the reason why is because all three of us kind of understand that in order for us to build an audience, we need to build it. We need to build that audience and, put out videos, find people who have like-minded interests and whatnot. This is Nicholas's channel, Raven's Loft.
Oh, don't show my page.
Shut up.
Sir, you are winning with this latest My Hero Academia video, which I'm so mad that I can't watch because I'm not caught up on damn anime. But still, shout out to you.
I gotta give a shout out to one of my Patreon members though. He really wanted this. Brandon was the catharsis behind this video, and he was very kind and just asked for me to point out stuff. So he actually ended up helping me reset what I want to do with my channel and help me see that the direction I want to go forward, because I've spent the last year just kind of going, I don't know what I want to do. So I'm focusing on storytelling in content. So yeah, Brandon was a lifesaver and really helped me see kind of what I want to do by just simply asking, hey, could you make a video on this? And I was like, yeah, sure. I got nothing to do.
I mean, guys, look, I was talking with a YouTube consultant, and they were like, Tyler, the fact that you get that you can get 1,000 views with 7,000 subscribers, they said that's great. And I went, yeah, but most of mine only do 500. And they go, that's still great with 7,000 subs, guys. Nicholas has 283 subscribers and is dropping way better views than my channel is. And so the point is, you can make good videos. If you make good videos, you can build an audience and you'll see it grow. And a lot of creators, they look at creating content and they go, that's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of work.
Actually. Yeah.
Look at that.
That's just it.
See, look at him. He's doing a good job too.
I love also Anime has all these avatars of himself.
Yeah, I figured that's a shout out to I got, since we often shout out some of our YouTube senpais. One of mine is Nux Taku, that one of the anime guys, and I love how his videos, his avatar changes and has different clothes and drastically different expressions and art styles depending on what particular topic he's doing or even what he's saying per second. And I'm like, yep, want to do that. So I just got some of my art peoples to make some shit.
Your videos have such a good flow to them, though. Watching them, it feels like you're in the room with you, hanging out, and being like, "Yeah, this is a cool conversation." You guys definitely need to head over there and check them out.
100%.
Very much appreciated. I recently slightly upgraded my banner to actually have text on it and not just be an anime reference. So definitely slide over there and check it out. I'm working on my next video right now that I actually did with my fiance because she decides that she wants to start being in my shit again. Actually, that's not true. I roped her and said, you're going to be doing
that's so funny.
Nice.
And she said, okay.
I showed you guys this. I was I grabbed all the top 20 videos from all the channels. I'm I want to be like. And then I go, okay, grab concept from this one, and then how can I combine them into my own thing? So I have a list of of crap. But like that's like the point is like creators like they don't want to think about this stuff because they look at that and they go, oh, I have to learn how to video edit. I have to learn. Nicholas was like videos like YouTube videos are all about telling a story, and I'm realizing I don't know how to tell a story, and so I'm like trying to learn that. It's a new thing I have to learn. And then we're always talking about thumbnails because thumbnails are the most important thing on YouTube. I talked to a thumbnail designer today. He goes, yeah, dude, that'll be $200 per thumbnail, and I went, God damn.
Well, hey, just to clarify though, is that you don't have to do this if you wanted to hit a certain point. Like if you want to get out there and maintain, like build an audience, you want to do it a certain way. This is one of the routes to go. You actually do not have to do this. There are several other ways, like Tonic Mole and his book Saving the World. He doesn't do any of this, and he has built a very good audience. This is just one way that you can choose to do it if this is the route you want. And all three of us have said, this is fun. This is in my wheelhouse. And for me, and probably you guys too, is it kind of helps us break out of like maybe certain creative funks or helps us think of stuff like
definitely.
It's just fun for us. You don't have to do this. This is not a requirement, but it does help.
I'm trying to be the anime Mr. Beast, even though the anime man's already that. Dalabar, welcome. We have Dalabar, the indie hype man, which that is on brand with this stuff. How you doing, man?
What's up, sir?
Guys, Dalabar as a channel, panels on pages. I've been on it, and we had a fantastic discussion, me and him. It ended horribly with my child screaming at the end, but no, it was good. J-Rod says, "Do what you want and you're comfortable with." So, Dalabar, you have been in the chat hot, and I want to make sure that we give you the time to talk your side because we're one side, but you have one side. I'd love to hear because you are not the only person I've ever heard any of this stuff from.
Hold on, I'm gonna watch the stream you're on real quick. Give me a few seconds.
Okay.
Go on his page.
But
I'm joking.
I was gonna say it's a 3-hour one.
Yeah, so. It was long, dude. I thought it was gonna be an hour, and we just kept going. All right,
give me 3 hours. I'll be right back.
But why? So besides the fact that, and I don't really want to talk about the politics of Eric July because to me that's very like people either agree with his politics or not. But why would you say that why would you say he's not a comic book creator? Because he sells like through his YouTube audience. So, I mean, maybe clarify that.
So for me, it's not the fact that he's selling through his YouTube audience. I mean, you're going to sell to the audience that you have, right? So, if you're Keanu Reeves, you're a movie star, you're going to sell to that audience. So you're going to get on camera on a boom stream. You're going to say, "Hey, I'm fucking Keanu Reeves. I'm making a comic book," and people are going to be like, "Holy shit, Keanu Reeves is making a comic book," and that's what they're going to buy it on. But at the same time, Keanu Reeves just threw some concepts at actual comic book creators. So like Keanu Reeves is not a comic book creator. Keanu Reeves had an idea for a story, and he could have just as easily sold that to a TV show or an animated series, like any number.
He did.
Right after the fact. My point is, he came to a comic. Well, rather, the Boom Studio supposedly reached out to him.
He's not but he didn't have any part in terms of the writing, scripting, lettering, art. Right. Okay, but with Eric though, he did have the right. He did do the writing, and publishing and distribution.
Sure, but that's the way he did it. Is he didn't do it based off the comic book. He's not selling the comic book. The marketing, I suppose, the way he marketed the book was not on the strength of the comic book. It's not on the strength of the product. It is what a lot of which I saw one the other day. I saw somebody on Twitter asking, "Oh, how do I get more backers?" And I was like, "Is the book backed or is the book funded?" And he said, "Yeah." And I was like, "You won, motherfucker." And they're like, "Oh, well, I'm trying to get more people to get to a stretch goal," but it's like they went super niche. It's like TNA and horror. And I'm like, horror, TNA, slasher, you like niche down a lot. So there's a limited amount of people that are going to be interested in that. So you're not going to hit 25K for your fourth stretch goal. Like it's not realistic. But maybe if he had if he did slasher film of the week on YouTube, maybe that would be different, right? He would have a different audience. My problem with the way that ISOM was marketed was it was marketed not on the strength of the comic, because first of all, the story pitch is terrible. I've for someone who has made YouTube videos as long as Eric July has, for him to have had such a terrible story pitch for the comic, I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked. Like, I used to watch him, and I just got sick of his shit, so I stopped watching him.
But people
ago.
still liked it. But people,
No.
but people still liked it. I mean, this is his 4-minute video, like trailer that came out on the day that he launched it.
And but you see that there is a click rate, right? There's a most popular part. So there's spots where people click to, so they could try to figure out what the fuck this thing is about. Because his sales pitch is bad.
You can't really claim that. People skip around quite a bit. If you even look at your own analytics.
Of course, yeah. People are always going to skip around. But the point is, they're all.
When I do that, and it's not for the fact that I want to know what's going on. I'm just like, what's going on? What's that visual? I mean, that doesn't necessarily.
But
his all intent.
His whole thing was not about the story, because his sales pitch for the story was terrible.
I don't know, this 4-minute video. There's 2 versions of this, and I am trying to find it.
There's lots of production, so he put money into the video for sure.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
But there's nothing wrong with it if you tell me what the fucking book is about.
Well, we can watch it.
This 96-pager was written by myself, Eric July. The pencil and ink work was done by the great Cliff Richards, and the color work was done by Gabe El Taib, 2 comic book veterans. Park, Texas, the place where he was born and raised. Now, Avery is what is known as an accept, which is what common folk in this area call special people. Years ago, shortly after he got his abilities, Avery decided to become a hero.
I mean, I already know. I mean, it sounds like he's pitching the story.
Well, and are we comparing this to an elevator pitch where you have 30 seconds to give, like, how to understand your comparison of bad story pitching? Like, what are you using to compare it to? Because, like, there's differences. The summary, the elevator pitch. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Are you talking, Dalbar? Are you talking about the video? Because there were 2 videos that came out on this day. There was this trailer, but then there was also the video where he goes, "I'm launching a
video." Yeah, where it's like,
I'm launching a comic book. Yes. I'm launching a comic book because I'm sick of liberals. I'm sick of the left. And then this trailer came
Identity
out.
Politics promo video.
Okay, so Dalbar is right that there is. Oh, I found it. It's literally the first one.
Yeah, the Welcome to the Riververse is very much like, we're not them. Like, we don't care if you're this, that, or the other thing. But it's the same concept of, if you don't vote, you are making a vote. You are making your position known. So, like, by saying you're not that, you are very much saying we are the other thing.
I will say this though. Oh, you guys talk. I'm going to bring up something.
Go ahead.
Sure. I think that as a launch video for his entire comic book brand, since he's sort of connecting the brand of the Rippaverse to himself, I don't necessarily see the problem with him saying, "Hey, we don't care about your superficial surface traits or whatever." Like, if that was what he was using to sell the individual books, that would be one thing. But as more of a mission statement, I don't necessarily see the problem with that.
So the fact that the entire business model is based on identity politics doesn't translate down to the individual books.
How is that identity politics though? If his thing on YouTube is railing against people who make a big deal out of race, sexual orientation, and he just says, "We don't care about that over here."
Right.
Well, and to elaborate,
but that's making a stance on the other side of that discussion.
But what does that matter? He's letting you know what it is, so then you can decide whether you want to support this or not.
Sure.
That's pretty clear and cut, and then you can go, "Yeah, it's not for me." And for me, that told me, goes, "Yeah, not really my thing." So I'm going to go this other direction, and I literally did.
Right. I mean, that's where it was for me. But I read a lot of different shit, so I thought the art looked interesting, so I was like, let me see what this book is about. I consumed the entire launch page. I watched the video, and I'm like, I still don't know what the fuck this book is about. Oh, it's a hero who used to be a hero, and then something happened. Doesn't say what. And then he quit, and then his sister calls him because somebody showed up, and then he's got to go Like,
so is he
what
supposed
the
to
fuck's
tell
the
you
story
the
about?
whole? It sounds like
No,
you got the
just
bare
a
bones.
hook.
No,
There's
let me
no
talk. Let me
hook.
talk. Let me talk. It sounds like you got the bare bones of the summary of the story. Is he supposed to explicitly, step by step, tell you what's happening on every page? Like, what are you expecting? Help me understand what
hook.
your thought is.
A hook.
Okay.
A hook. Peter Parker.
Retired hero.
Peter Parker is a reporter who can't make ends meet, gets bitten by a radioactive spider, and proceeds to become the neighborhood superhero in his hometown of Queens.
Okay, so you wanted the elevator pitch. It sounds like his page was meant for the summary, like what you would read on the back of the book. I didn't look at the page that often, so I don't know like where he would have had that, or if he did ever put that up. And I'm not saying I'm defending or for whatever is going on here. I'm just literally asking elaborate questions to kind of get your view on it. I don't want you to think I'm dunking on you at all. Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Well, no, I mean, it says right there in the campaign page, short story, Avery Stillman is a common rancher, but that always wasn't the case. After obtaining some unique abilities, Avery spent a brief stint being a hero under the moniker Isom. Realizing that wasn't for him, blah, blah, but after responding to a call from his sister, some violent altercations ensue, and as Avery reconsidering his approach, what happened? Grab Isom #1. So, I mean, he has a pitch. I'll agree, it's not very well written. But he does
he wrote the pitch. So as a consumer, and I am a super backer on fucking Kickstarter, so I would say I'm a pretty good fucking example of the consumer. As a consumer, what the fuck am I buying? And like you said, it's poorly written. If that's poorly written, and that's the thing selling the thing I'm supposed to be buying, doesn't really engender a lot of.
But that doesn't make him not a comic book creator.
Yeah, that just means the story doesn't appeal to you, which is more than fine. Like, but that doesn't invalidate him as a creator.
Like, I would say like 42,000 people backed it, and I mean I agree with you. Like, I reading this right now, I don't think this is a very good pitch. If someone were to pitch this to me at my company, I'd be like, yeah, this doesn't really entice me. But just like I will say, it's disingenuous to say what the story is about when you go on this and there's 3 paragraphs.
Can we agree that the information is there? It's just not very well done.
Yeah,
I'll give you
I can.
Yeah.
I can totally agree.
I've
Because
definitely
if
read
you just say
stronger
that,
pitches. Yeah.
yeah, the pitch isn't that strong, but it is definitely there. It's just not good.
But that doesn't make him not a comic book creator.
No, the fact that this is not his thing is what makes him not a comic book creator.
What do you mean?
What if he makes like 3 more issues?
What
But
was
he
this?
continues the story. I mean, like, just to get us on the page here, at what point, under your definition, would he have to then be regarded as a comic book creator?
When he makes comic books.
What is
This
anime?
So
you
then-
have,
so let's get on the same
You're
page.
an ass
He
here,
made
but,
a
like,
piece of merch. He
Can
made
you
a
explain
piece
what a
of
comic
merch.
book? Like, we're not trying to be mean, but then
No,
explain.
I understand. But what I'm
okay.
trying to tell you is he made a piece of merch. He made a promotional piece of merch to get money out of an audience that he's built for years by yelling about shit that people get upset about.
Which you could define all comics as merchandise because the publisher has to put out merchandise, a product.
No,
Yeah.
comic
Even
books.
not
Comic books. Absolutely.
You have to define what a comic book is and what merchandise is to me. Get me on the same page.
Comic books is a storytelling medium.
Okay, so he told a story. That by your definition, he told a story within that medium.
Publishers make merch based off of comics. They do not sell comic books as merch for nothing. The equivalent of this is if Stan Lee had become a television personality, and then Stan Lee, after 10 years. No, but I'm saying after 10 years of Stan Lee being on TV and being a television personality, Stan Lee decided to make Spider-Man.
but here's the thing that like, and this goes with that person saying that's the way it's always been. We're in 2023, baby. Stan Lee made it the way he had. Stan Lee made it the way he did because that was all that he had at the time.
100%. I agree with you that people need to become more content creators, especially if they're going to be indie.
But that does not.
comics.
But you're saying that if you become a content creator first and then make a comic book, you're not a comic book creator because you didn't do it first.
If your content is not about comics, no.
So that God Slap, would you like? He has 5 issues and he's already working on a second series. Like, does Charlie not count as a comic creator?
No.
And before he had Rippaverse, remember, he only relatively recently stopped doing long form reviews of entire runs of comic books, like 40, 50-minute long videos comparing recently released comic book movies to the comic book versions, comparing, contrasting them. Like, he has a long body of work that shows that he really is, he's not just cashing in on like the new craze of fan hate or whatever. He is genuinely.
He's absolutely doing that. He's been doing that for years.
Question, Dalabar.
He did that 6 versions of Captain Marvel ago.
Wait, which guy are we talking about now? Charlie or Eric?
Eric July.
Eric. Wait, real quick.
But he's talking about comics in particular. He's talking about the medium, and you said he doesn't do that. So you're gonna have to help us differentiate. Is he talking about the medium or is he not?
Pull up Eric July's page right now.
Okay, real quick though, before I do. So this is the Masked Man. And he makes content where he just talks about what he's reading. Like, I read this book. My one gets 131,000. Tyler's gets 2,000. But Masked Man, all he does is talk about manga that he likes and doesn't like. But then he made his own manga. Does that count? Doesn't that mean he's a manga creator?
Yeah, seems to be his whole thing.
Okay,
but he's making manga.
But it's not being published in Japan.
Or even the fact that,
if you want to get real technical, he's making a Japanese style comic book.
So right here, look, Valiant. He's talking about Valiant. Look, he's talking about comics right here, Valiant.
And there's IDW right down there.
He's talking about IDW. He has there's ISOM.
This is just the one channel.
Boom.
Yep.
He has Joe Glass, comic creator.
How much scrolling are you doing, dude?
This is 1 month ago. This is within the last 30 days. His
channel can be whatever it wants to be, but he's got comic associated items.
So within the last month, we have Spider-Man, Tim Drake, Joe Glass, ISOM, Boom. He has more videos than I do. Spider-Gwen, Blue Beetle, the Riververse Warehouse.
Are you just referring to the way that he talks about the videos? Or the way
he can have whatever shitty opinion he wants to have.
No. I'm not asking about opinions. I'm just saying, are you against the way he represents the information of the comics? Because he's obviously talking about the medium, but is it just the way that he presents it?
Yeah, he's rage farming. He's not
okay, but he is talking about by your definition.
But he's not doing any good faith. He's not reading a comic book.
That's irregardless. That's irregardless of how he's talking.
That's not a word. So
which one? Irregardless.
Okay, irrespective then. Come on, listen.
Is irregardless really not a real word? I swear I've used that my whole life.
It's not. It's one of those words that we use.
I'm gonna keep saying
isn't
it.
Actually, a word, but people know what people mean when they say it. So
I'm gonna keep saying it now.
Yeah. Good. You should. The thing is, he doesn't make content about comics in good faith. He's never made any of his content in good faith.
Well, how do you know the Masked Man also makes content in good faith? Have you watched his content?
What's good faith mean?
I'm interested in knowing what good faith is, because that's a tall order.
So making a review of a comic book in good faith is reading a comic book and rating it or reviewing it on its merits.
Well, that's a review channel. He's a commentary channel.
Yeah, and so when back years ago.
No. Let's dig into that. What kind of commentary channel?
I'm unfamiliar with how it needs to be.
Specifically, a negative commentary channel. He specifically creates content to farm the rage of people who don't like things in mainstream comics.
But that's fine. There's people who don't like there's people. So there's people like I watched the Rings of Power episode 1, and my friend was like, Tyler, that was a masterpiece. And I was like, I freaking hated it. So if we were to go on YouTube, he's going to watch the video of the person who's validating his, like, did you think it was good? I thought it was good. And he goes, yes, I thought it was good. But for me, if I watch that video, I'm going to go, well, it wasn't good. Why am I watching this video of you invalidating my feelings? But then I can go to someone else's channel and they go, Rings of Power sucked, and these are all the reasons why. And I go, yeah, those are all the reasons why. And so there is an audience of people who don't like what mainstream comics and other people are putting out. It's like Fox and their CNN. There's people who watch Fox hate CNN, people who watch CNN hate Fox. They both cater to an audience. I don't see what's wrong with that. Like,
but everybody that watches either of those fucking channels and rides hard for them is a fucking moron.
But that's very disingenuous because basically you're saying that he has an audience of morons. Eric July.
Can we have a comparison here to? And again, we're not dunking. We're not trying to. We all want to be on the same page. This is all out of politeness here. But if he is selling a comic on his page as merchandise and is actually talking about the medium, what would you say is actually a good page, a channel that in comparison does it better in your opinion? If you have one,
if she
asking.
had one, oh boy, I'm fucking terrible. I remember what the hell's her name? If she had a comic of her own,
I know who you're talking about.
You couldn't possibly. I haven't even said anything about the channel.
You said it's a girl. So I'm gonna just guess which girl it is.
I'm so curious to see if you.
Does she have glasses, black hair, kind of Asian looking?
No.
No, I'm curious who this other one is.
I think it's Curious Comics. She's cool.
Never heard of that. But I mean, just help us kind of give a comparison here because it's. I mean, we all have obviously different ideas of what this means. So, in your terms, what would be a good representation of what people should see from this?
But why is that? But why is it important though? Like, I just don't see the problem with the like Dalabar, he just doesn't appeal to you. Like, and that I think that he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. Like, he doesn't appeal to me either.
He certainly doesn't have to appeal to me. What I'm saying is, people are holding him up as the standard because he made so much money. But he didn't make so much money because he made a good comic book. He didn't.
Well, and that's been up to debate. A lot of people said it's not that good, and there's been
that's why no one's talking about it. It's a shit comic book. You could tell it's a shit comic book because he didn't sell it based on the comic book. He wasn't talking. He didn't show more than 6 pieces of art from the entire book.
Well, I mean, I only showed like 3 panels on my Sexy Witch comic.
Yeah, but you did what you did, Tyler. We're not even going to talk about that. You did what you did with that.
What you saying?
You dug into the absolute.
Don't be jealous.
Basic. I'm not jealous.
Is it Dan fan?
When it hit, I was like, "That's exactly what I thought it was going to be." Like when I saw what it was, I was like, "You know what? That 100% tracks. 100% tracks."
Is it Dan fan?
It is not Casualty Comics. Casualty Comics.
That was That was the one I was going for. I went Curiosity instead. Yes, Casualty Comics. Look, she got glasses and she's like Asian Mexican looking.
She's black, but okay.
Oh, she's black. Go her.
But my point is, she reads the comics, talks about the comics, whether they're good or not. A lot of times they're bad, and if she was to make a book, that would be a normal, like it would be a what's the word I'm looking for? It would make sense. Like it would make sense, and like if she pursued it as a thing, she would be a comic book creator. But if she was just like, oh, like I partnered with like this, hot artist, or even not a hot artist, but like I partnered with this person to like make a 12-page thing of me as a superhero. That's not comic book creator. ISOM is this fucking thing that no one, like, it is, far as I can tell, universally disliked. Because, well, let me rephrase that. As far as I can tell, it is at the most universally not cared about. So if you have no fans of your comic book, if no one's reading it and no one's talking about it,
I think my biggest problem with well, I can say that about tons of indie creators, like who's talking. Absolutely. Like, don't. My biggest problem is Dalbar, is that you have all of these check marks that are so like semantical on whether or not someone is a comic book creator, and if you had that check box to so many other indie people, most people in the end of the day would probably not be a comic book creator.
I disagree because granted, you have a different sample size than I do because you associate with different people than I do. But everybody that I back, everybody that I follow, they make comic books. They may have a day job, but then they make comic books, and write books, and like occasionally some of them have actual content that they make. And
but Eric July's like, I think by the end of the year he'll put out 2 more comics. Like he'll put out 3 comics. He's put out more books than a lot of other indie creators that are in these groups that
all going to be
if he continues that and can support that and starts making comic books and people start buying those comic books because they want to read those comic books, not because he's Eric July.
But that's not fair. That you can't say you're not a comic book creator because no one buys your comics for the comic. They buy it for you. That's not fair. People buy Scott Snyder. Fair? People buy Scott Snyder just because it's Scott Snyder. People buy Alan Moore just because it's Alan Moore. People go see a Tom Cruise movie because it's Tom Cruise.
Well, what about variant artists? Like some people will just follow that artist and they're not buying the actual comic for the comic. They just want to collect the art. Is that technically the same thing then?
That's the same. That's the same concept. That's J. Scott Campbell draws sexy ladies, so I'm going to buy all J. Scott Campbell variants. Like, cool. That like you're not a comic book fan. You just like that person's art.
It's just so disingenuous. I think there's just so much.
It's like if I didn't read comics, I couldn't call myself a comic book fan, even if I had 5,000 comic books in my house.
I think there's just so much. I think there's just a lot of gatekeeping because I like that. Like that would be like saying, well, to be a comic book fan, you have to read at least 5 issues a month, and I can. No. It's just like I can't tell you the last comic book I read like recently.
I don't know if you can call yourself a true fan if you haven't backed any of my books. I'm just saying this just feels kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can really trust you on this.
What's your campaign? What's the Kickstarter?
Well, the last one was Winnie the Pooh Demon Hunter, so I mean, you didn't even back that, so I'm kind of disappointed. Kind of making me sad over here, buddy.
Not a big horror fan.
It's not horror. It's fantasy action, and it stays in line with the actual books.
It's dope. It's actually really
wholesome.
Good.
It's really wholesome. The tagline is misleading.
Interesting.
It's good. Winnie the Pooh Demon Hunter is fun. But I just think there's a lot. I think with all of this, it's just a lot of gatekeeping. I think it's a lot of indie creators who are mad at Eric July because he did what they will never do. No, but
I shared your book. I didn't back it, but I shared it.
That still that goes a long ways.
Tyler, it's like if you collect manga but never read them, would you be a manga fan? Yeah. Absolutely.
How is that a fan? What are you collecting?
You're a fan of the medium.
But you're not.
The medium is
the medium.
The medium is the art, the experience, the supporting the artist. Like,
well, let's say I'm a fan of Picasso, but I've never actually bought his stuff.
Word.
I also
like I said,
Oh no!
Like you said,
that's a perfect point right there.
Damn it, Nicholas! You made a perfect point.
That is a perfect point. That is a perfect point right there.
I don't do that very often.
Not you. The commenter.
Dang it! Can we? Just kick him off of here now. He's starting to make me mad.
That is a perfect point. He made a book. Just because the book didn't change the industry forever doesn't mean he's fake. I'm not saying he's fake because it didn't change the industry forever. I'm saying he's fake because he's acting like it did.
I will say
it has since day one, since it became a big thing, since it got a lot of traction. He's acted like he's changing the landscape of the indie comics space.
Well, I think you could say he has a little. No other indie campaign can say that they've done 3 million, 3.7 million
because it's not an indie campaign
on a crowdfunding that's on their own website. It's like, wait, why would you say it's not an indie campaign? It's absolutely an indie campaign.
It's definitely not mainstream.
Why is it? Why is this not an indie campaign?
It's an indie campaign in so much as the Boom Studios Berserk campaign is an indie
Well,
campaign.
how?
It's the exact same thing. It's somebody with a massive existing
No,
audience.
that's not fair.
How is it
Now
not
I
fair?
want to see Keanu and Eric July in a movie together now.
That is not fair.
Gross.
This is someone who is Boom Studios is
John Wick 5. Eric July is part of the team now. Him and Eric July loses a dog, and now Keanu is like,
Eric July
so
gets shot in the face.
That
by
is
Keanu
really
Reeves'
inappropriate.
character.
Really inappropriate.
That's kind
of racist.
We're talking about a film.
Kind of racist.
I think that's
was
completely
fine.
disingenuous. Okay, how about this?
Why do you think that's disingenuous?
That's disingenuous. Let's go to
Yeah, this book. This one right here.
let's go with Let's Play. This is
Yeah, this one. Oh, dang it.
it's Let's Play Volume 1. Kickstarter. God damn it. My likes. Okay, so this is Mongi. She was a tech person, and then she puts up a book on Webtoons, and then she amasses millions of followers. She starts a YouTube channel, Patreon, and then she's like, oh, I have enough for a physical book, and then she puts it on Kickstarter. So, but she's like,
But she already made the comic. She already made the comic, and the comic already has an audience. If Marvel, I made a whole video about this, that this is what Marvel should do. What If should be an ongoing series on digital, and then they should put out trades, and they should put them out just like this.
I would get more of that weird Thor story. I don't think they should do that.
But my point is you're saying that the difference is like, what's the difference? Eric July had a built-in audience. She has an audience.
No, the comic has an audience.
No, she has an audience. You should see her Twitch. Holy cow.
She has an audience of millions of people.
She's quite well known in her circle.
Okay. How many people read the comic on Webtoons?
Millions.
Okay. So
because of her.
Sure. But they read the comic. So by the time it came to this.
Well, how did Eric July's book get reviewed then? Did people not read it?
I'm not saying people haven't read it. I'm saying people don't talk about it because...
I mean, people did talk about it.
And then they stopped.
Yeah, because there's nothing to talk about anymore. They're waiting for the next one. It's kind of like momentum.
He got $3 million.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
He should have been able to put out the entire run by now.
Wow. By his own definition, he's doing
that's not how he wanted to do it. I mean,
right, because he's not doing comic books.
This is now so now you can only do comic books.
You would have 5 issues from me personally within 3 months.
I'm kind of mad that you didn't help me get to $3 million with Winnie the Pooh. That's where I'm going to hold my grudge right now. And
Raul says it best.
I'm just saying, if you want to support creators, support me.
Raul says keep moving. You keep moving the goalposts all day. Maybe the book isn't high quality. Or the talk of the town, but it doesn't mean that he's fake. And I have to agree with this. I just find that there's just a lot of gatekeeping. The goalposts keep being moved. Like, he made $30 million. How come he doesn't have more books? It's like, that's not how he wanted to run the company.
And that's fine. But then don't say you're a comic book creator. You're not.
But now you're saying that. Now you're saying so. Now you're saying if I make $3 million, me Tyler, that mine to be considered a comic book creator, I need to put out more books a year.
How about
you already make a decent amount of books a year. My point would be if you got $3 million and decided to, I don't know, renovate your house and then didn't put out the same amount of books that you put out now,
I wouldn't be. If I made one book a year and it made $3 million a year and I was guaranteed $3 million every time I did one book, I'd probably only do one book a year. Maybe. Is that wrong? Yeah. Does that make me not a comic book creator because I only put out one book a year?
Yeah, but knowing you'd put out a 300-page
at
least.
I guess the reason why I say this is because I remember having the same kind of gatekeeping feelings towards Ethan Van Sciver when I talk, and I remember talking with him, and I was like, Ethan, how come you don't do more books? And keep in mind, this is someone
he's not a good writer.
Okay, regardless. Ethan, and this is coming from Ethan, who hates me. Irregardless. I'm gonna keep fucking saying that word, man. Irregardless. But Ethan said, that he doesn't want to do monthly comics. He wants to do like the, and this is his mindset, regardless of you think it's right, wrong, or if he was lying, but regardless, this is his words. He's like, I want to be the person who puts out one book every 2-3 years, kind of like an author. Like Dan Brown puts out a new book every like maybe 4 or 5 years. So that's kind of like the mindset that he's thinking that of himself. And so does that make him not a comic book creator because he wants to put out one book every maybe 3 or 4 years? No, I don't think so. And so I just think like
be a comic book creator.
He still is. He still is.
How about we meet in the middle and just
For
say
sure.
that Eric July is a web comic creator? Just give him some some.
I love it. The web comic creator who only makes physical comics. I love it.
That is hilarious because there's not a digital edition. That is hilarious.
I was so mad about that.
In 2022, no digital copy. I was also upset with that.
I'll say for real.
He still made $3 million.
Yeah, personally, that's
the
not the move
Assassin's
I would have
Creed campaign
made.
should learn something.
I think he could have made another $1 million had he done digital. I would have bought it.
I would have bought it for the lulz.
I think
I also would have bought it for the lulz. That's the thing.
See, I'd give you a high five right now if this was physical.
I think regardless, irregardless. I think irregardless. Yeah. I think at the end of the day,
did we just become best friends?
I think creators who say this about Eric, that he's not a comic creator, that he's not, that put all these goalposts and check marks like, oh, he doesn't do this.
I personally don't think it's check marks. I think now there might be people out there that are doing it, but the video you were sharing was titled I was right, they just don't want to hear it from me.
Which one?
The one that you were playing earlier
Okay.
when I first joined the stream. The video title is I was right, but they don't want to hear it from me. He has put himself on a pedestal.
That just sounds like really good marketing, honestly.
Space. But what has he done?
Why can't he though?
He made a webcomic.
Why can't he put himself on a pedestal?
Besides make rage baiting content for 10 years and then make a merch comic book out of that and you'll get $3 million. What is the lesson to be learned? Because this is all the way back when we first started talking. That was my question to you. What is the lesson to be learned besides make a shit ton of rage baiting content for a decade? If you still haven't learned anything from Eric July in this last year, then I think I don't think if any creators listening to me right now, if you still can't learn if you still cannot open your eyes and learn from Eric July at this point and separate what you think of him versus what he did, I think you're a lost cause.
Eric, if you're watching this, the next book you put out should be called Click Rage Outrage.
Because
Hold on. Okay, so besides make content, what is the lesson?
Make content for your audience and monetize it.
Okay. Who's your audience? How do you develop your audience?
Comic book readers.
You do you create well guys, that's a great question. If you go down to breakingthepanel.substack.com, which is my newsletter where I talk to creators and how they can create an audience.
Incredibly smooth. That was incredibly smooth.
You can create your ICP, which is your ideal customer profile, and in there you're going to write age, location, hobbies, job title, purchase habits, challenges, goals, turnover, and income.
Apple, calm down.
So I answered your question. This is what you do. You create. What does your ideal customer look like? What's his customer?
So you invent a person to make content for.
Yes. Okay. And sell it. And sell to.
How long do you make content before you start making your comic?
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
10 years.
It absolutely does.
It doesn't matter. That's why. Why does it matter?
Because if someone does this tomorrow and makes a YouTube video tomorrow and it gets 0 views tomorrow, should they make a comic book tomorrow? That's not true.
No, yesterday.
They can. I don't see that you can make content and make a comic book at the same time. You could do it even before. You could do it after. It doesn't matter. I made comics before I made my YouTube channel.
You do it while you're making the video.
You do.
Inception.
But again, this is not the lesson from Eric July.
This
is a nuanced analysis of what he did, and I appreciate that you created it. And it seems to be a free thing that's available on your Substack.
Hell yeah, but you can subscribe for $5 and get one email.
Wait,
I don't have $5 time.
Wait, I thought the lesson we were supposed to get from Eric July was monetize your haters.
Yes,
but he didn't monetize his haters. His haters didn't buy his book.
You can't prove that. That's 42,000
base,
people.
His rabid fan base bought his book. He has 500,000 subscribers.
Dude, I want half of that.
How many people backed that book? Hold on, how many people backed that?
45,000. I have it up right here.
Just give me like 1/4 of that, and I'll be happy.
What is it? Is it 513,000?
Yeah.
But he did double a great conversion rate. He did an 8% conversion off his audience.
So what's the problem? Like I said, if you don't,
there's no problem. I'm saying he did what he did, but to say that he is some sort of authority on how you should make your campaign or how you should make, like, he's not. Because we all just talked about how he didn't have a digital copy, and none of us would have done that.
He still blew us out the water.
but here's the thing.
He had 500,000 subscribers that were ready to buy from him.
But here's the thing. There are other people there are tons of campaigns that don't have digital. There's no.
They're wrong.
Like Assassin's Creed, those
fundamentally incorrect.
They're not. Well, are they fundamental?
They are. They're still working.
Power Rangers did 500,000 on Kickstarter, no digital.
Well, because the people who are going to buy digital already bought it digital.
But here's the thing: it's just like an authority is someone. An authority figure on terms of the internet is someone who's successful and that you can go, okay, I can lead. They lead by example. I'm not saying you have to. People aren't saying you have to follow Eric July, but you can learn what he did. If more indie creators learned how to create content for their audience and then monetize that audience through selling comics, we probably have a lot more indie comic creators not crying on the internet because they're not funding their books.
And I fully agree with you, but let me ask you a question. Why do you, as someone who champions this methodology, and I do agree, I think it is the correct methodology, why do you choose to use Eric July as the goalpost?
He's not my goalpost. He's not my goalpost.
Then why do you bring him up?
Check it out.
Why even bring him up?
Check it out. These are my goalposts.
Does it generate views?
Hell yeah, man. Why did I bring him up? I brought him up because I saw that oh gosh, I don't want people seeing this right now. I did it because I saw the clip. We brought up Eric July because the person in his live stream video was saying that he shouldn't have charged $10 for it. He should have charged only $10 for his book, and that you're supposed to be broke. Did you hear the clip? If you didn't hear the clip, here, let's do the clip real quick. Crap, I need a stop screen. This is why I need OBS Animate.
I feel you.
This is okay, here we go. So this is the clip we've been talking about.
Profit.
All right.
Amount of profit.
All right. Well,
like
it wouldn't have matched if I sold it at $5. I would be broke right now.
That's just how it works.
Well, that's not how it works. I think that's
a lot of people who make indie comics are fucking broke.
And that's the
a lot of people.
Why you don't understand? That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
I think that it adds to
how many backers
they passionately work on it.
Okay, so all right.
So the person basically is telling Eric that
right, yeah, they're stupid. How many backers did he have?
42,000.
42,000 backers. $210,000.
What?
In what universe is that broke? $210,000 off of one project.
Well, you don't know how much he spent and how much he had to spend afterwards. Maybe he had to pay himself $300,000 just to, buy some strawberries.
That's not including whatever he has to use to pay his whole, not just the creative team for the comic, but the entire business. The
book was already done,
200
right?
I'm sorry?
I don't know.
The book was already done. That was part of his sales pitch.
But then, but
The
but
book
he
was
still has
already
got,
done.
but he still has to pay. He still has to break even, pay himself, pay the company.
That's not. First of all, that's not how business works.
Wait, well, then tell us how it works.
You don't pay yourself as a business. He's not.
What?
Yeah, you do.
Unless, okay, I mean, I guess if this is his only job, content creation, he's already paying himself, so he has his money.
You take most business people, they like take like a salary from their business, so he could say the business needs to. The
Sure.
business has these like.
So he chose to make a shit ton of money.
Is
That's
that wrong?
Not if he's trying to make, like if he's just trying to get rich. No, it's not wrong at all.
But if
he
you're
wants
making,
to
you're
No.
validating this person.
Absolutely not, because he's already making a salary off his business. His business
So?
is his YouTube
Well,
channel.
you don't know that actually. You don't know how much he's making in there. That's an assumption. They could be paying him in strawberries.
His RPM could be really
Irregardless.
bad. His RPM could be really bad.
I don't know how much you know
Okay,
about
his
YouTube,
RPM
but
could
their
be really
ad
bad.
revenue is crap right
I know
now.
a lot about YouTube. His
I know
RPM
more. Irregardless.
something like that. His RPM could be really bad, but then I can't imagine that he doesn't.
But
have
Dalbar,
some
what's
sort
the
of-
problem?
some sort of ads.
What's the problem with him making $3 million instead of 200?
Because $210,000 is a successful campaign. He just said if it was $5 a book, it wouldn't. And we're assuming that at $5 a book, he wouldn't have made 50,000, 80,000.
But regardless, even if he goes, oh, if I charge 30, I can make this much. I should do that. Why is that a bad business decision? That's a great business decision.
I think the main problem we all have here, irregardless of any of the situation here, is he didn't share that money with me. Okay, this is the real problem.
$5 is a ridiculous price point to put on a 92-page book. So this is all hypothetical. But my point is,
I charged
Whoa, really?
$70.
$5?
$5 for a 92-page book?
Comic book?
That is really low.
Oh. Okay. Okay. We're about to kick you off the stream, Dalvar.
No, it's like, no, that is $5. That is criminally low. Like you were just doing it wrong if you're charging $5 for a 92
Okay,
page.
we're about to kick you off the stream. But hold on, I still like from a business standpoint. Okay, I'll tell you this. So the company I work for, we have a book. It sells Buku bucks. And it's $50. It's $60. It's 60. We sell a book that's $60. My boss does the math. He goes, okay, I really think that we could make this $100 book. And I'm like, really? Because that's stupid money. Like that's stupid. He goes, if we can make this, you're all getting bonuses. If you can successfully do this, I'm like, there's no way anyone's going to pay $100 for this book. He goes, if we do blah blah blah, I think we can do it. So we did all blah blah blah. Came out with a great marketing campaign. Did. Anyways, we sold that book for $100 bucks, and we sold millions of dollars worth of that book. Everyone got bonuses. It was fantastic.
Excellent.
But thing is, the book is normally 60. We raised the price to 100.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, it was a great business decision. Why is it wrong for him to go, I can charge $35 for this?
I'm not saying it is. You as a creator, you as a person who's making the thing, if it's a t-shirt, if it's whatever, you get to set the price point. And the first time out, you'll see how the audience responds. And if 42,000 backed it at $35, I'm sure his next one might even be 40. Maybe it'll be 50. You know?
He did say in a recent video that he will be going cheaper because of what he was able to make off this last one. That he's going to make the book 102 pages and actually reduce the price. Now whether he sticks to that is a whole entire different question. So,
but like
at $20 at 100 for 100 pages, I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable price point, especially for 42,000 copies. Like you're getting a pretty good printing deal.
But once again though, you like there's nothing wrong with what he did it the way he did it. Like that, like him, like it doesn't matter if he charged $10, $5. He chose 35. Like
no, but he's misrepresenting the situation. He's saying that at $210,000.
No, but you don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know.
I'd be broke within a week with that money. I'm just saying
because we don't know what like his plans were. We don't know how much he's paying. We don't know how much
his plans are irrelevant.
Well, no, not really. That's part of business management and your forecasting and setting up how you're going to do things, especially if you're hiring a team or a warehouse.
If your forecast relies on a heavy fucking payday, then you have a single-minded fucking forecast. You haven't thought about the possibility of not making that payday.
Hey, no one said I was smart here, okay?
but that's what happens is you go, in order for my business to be profitable, thinking in like, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, this book needs to make 3 million. It could make 200, whatever, 200K, that'd be great. But in order for me to operate the way I want to for the future, it needs to make 3 million.
I'll be very honest with you. If I don't, I'll come back here in 1 year's time, and if he hasn't produced 3 more comics by then, and has employed, not contracted, employed artists and writers, he's blown that $3 million on nothing.
No, he has, but it doesn't matter. The point of it is,
no, of course it doesnn't matter. It's his money. If he wants to blow it and fucking be a failure, absolutely, that's his choice.
What? A failure at what?
If he blows $3 million and does nothing with it,
that's his. I mean, that's like lottery money blowing, then. Like,
yeah, those people are failures. If I got $3 million tomorrow, I'd be rich for the rest of my life.
But regardless, if he puts out, I mean, this doesn't make him any less of a comic book creator. He's still a comic book creator. He's comic book creator.
Much as he created one comic book, sure, I'll give you that. I'll give him that. He could be a comic book creator. He made one comic book.
And if he makes,
we got him, guys.
He has 2 more.
Flip it.
He has 2 more, and he has 2 more later this year. And yeah, I think in terms of like what people can learn from Eric July, whether you like him or not.
So in 2 years, with $3 million, not even counting the money he's going to get from those other 2 campaigns, he will have only produced 3 comic books.
So
let's just say you guys.
But what's wrong with that? Why can't he go, sweet, I made $3 million. This 100,000 is going to go to the comic, and I'm going to pocket the rest. What's wrong with that?
That's bad business.
No, your thing is, the problem is you're wanting him to produce more, and he's choosing to pocket more.
Yeah, so he's not making comics to make comics. He's just trying to milk money out of a fan base that he's built.
Hold on. Okay, stop. Does that mean that I make comics so that I can make money?
Sure, but you produce comics. You produce more comics. You use that money to make your next book.
No, I don't. I pocket 90% of the money.
That's also bad business.
Why?
Because that's not how business works.
Why?
The profit from your last project should fund the next project. You shouldn't need the money that you're getting.
Well, in his defense, Tyler produces all the artwork, writes it.
Sure, so exactly. So I'm saying
it is investing into.
But
it's just not how you see it.
Right, but also,
let's say you made $200,000 and you're making a 100-page book, and you charge standard rates. That's what, a $20,000 cost.
I heard Gabe got $100,000 for just his part alone. So there's half of it right there.
I'm sorry, you said
nice.
$100,000.
Yeah, and then whoever penciled it got $500,000.
What, are you lying, Nicholas? Nicholas, are you lying?
You see how easy it is to just throw
you fucking liar.
I was like, easy it is though to just throw these out there and just kind of conflate stuff. Like,
but we're not conflating. I'm not conflating anything. I'm saying that this is how.
Hyperbole to it and just determining like how me and Tyler would spend our money if we it's bad business. Like you don't know how we do stuff behind the scenes. Like maybe he's feeding his family. He's got got to maintain a roof over his head. Like his studio is his house.
That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. but it's not part of the business.
I'm
Unless
just saying
the business owns that, it's not part of the business.
I'm just saying, if you guys gave me $3 million on my next campaign, I can't promise that I wouldn't put a pond in the back of my yard and buy some geese.
Well, here's the thing, Nicholas. If I gave you $3 million, you're still only putting out the same amount of books you're doing a year because the time doesn't change.
No, I'd up and leave.
I believe that. but like right now I'm working on a book, and I think in total it will cost me $2,000 or $3,000 to make.
Printing costs?
Huh?
You're talking about printing costs?
No, just to make it.
Oh, who was that pharma guy that got put in prison? He bought that one Wu-Tang Clan album that can't be produced anywhere else because he owns the one. Scribelli, yeah. What do you see? Okay, irregardless of like Wu-Tang and their known history, what if someone came up to you and said, "I'm paying you $100,000 to create this one book, and you can't put it anywhere else"?
I'd do it. 100%.
And then you have to go be with a Saudi Arabian prince for a week.
Oh hell yeah, do that, dude. They're trillionaires there.
Yeah, and you gotta be in Dubai, fly a plane.
I'll go to Dubai, dude. I hang out with Andrew Tate.
He is an interesting feller.
I think I just think it's disingenuous for comic creators like all four of us to think that we know the insides and outs of his business. Honestly, I honestly think that like why do we care? But like why do we care? Like why does it because I just don't see why we care. I just think there's a lot of gatekeeping. I see a lot of indie comic creators bitching and crying and whining. I said it on your stream, Dalabar. I said comic creators are whiner babies.
I really need you to pronounce my name correctly, man.
Dalabar? Bor.
There you go.
Dalibor. I've said it a bunch. Comic creators are whiner babies. And
that's why I use that as my thumbnail.
I honestly think that the reason why most creators have a hate boner for Eric July is because they're whiner babies. Because what Eric July is essentially what my Facebook post was on that that went quote unquote viral in the creator's view. It's what Eric July is he's a mirror. He's a mirror to all indie creators' lack of work, lack of ingenuity, and lack of living in the present time. Because indie creators still think it's the 1990 where you can put out a book and people will judge it by the there's a book. It's not how it works anymore. People want to be told what to read. They want to be told what to read. They want to hear from other people what to read. And they do that by consuming content on their phones, on YouTube, on these streams, on Twitch, and they follow people that they like. And what a lot of comic creators are realizing is they don't know how to create content. They don't know how to build an audience. And they realize in order to learn how to do all that stuff, it's going to take more work. And most of the people bitching on this are writers. And to me, if you're a comic book writer and you're complaining about not building an audience, to me, you're the biggest whiner baby, because you, unlike the artist, are able to, you have the time. It does not take months to write one 20-page comic. So you can write your 20-page comic and then you can spend the rest of your month every single day putting out a video, learning how to grow an audience. But most comic book writers are whiner babies, and they don't want to do that. And I said this in someone else's stream. I think it was to Tom Hutchinson. I was like, I think by the end of the year, I will have drawn over 400 pages of comics. By the end of this year, the fact that I'm able to draw that many pages and still put out weekly videos and content, but a writer can't, says more about that writer than it does me and their whiner babies. Those are my final thoughts. To all you whiner babies, as like the stream audience goes down every time I say whiner baby.
Why is there only 5 people left?
Where did they all go? Where did all those whiner babies go? But no, I appreciate you coming on, Dalibor, and letting us know your thought. Hey, here's the thing: there are so many other people who share your sentiments, and so that's why I was like, let's just bring Dalibor on, because there's a bunch of people who think the same way, and it's totally fine.
Tonight
I think the important thing that we need to take away from the Eric July thing, and just the fact that it happened, is that the current methodology for most creators is not working as well as it could be, and that there are other opportunities out there. Like you said, content creation is a big one, and people, I think, are afraid of it. I think there's a lot of people that are not great on camera, but there's, as you just showed off with your AI example, there's a bunch of other ways to create content that doesn't require you to be on camera. So I think that people need to start getting to work on creating more of a presence on the internet, because at the end of the day, no one's going to buy your book if they don't know you exist.
100%. I don't think like Anime and Nicholas, you guys don't show yourself on camera on your guys' YouTube videos.
I show
Not
my
all the
avatar.
time. I should more, definitely. I do every now and then. I was going to tonight, but it's acting stupid.
You're good. Yeah, I normally only show my avatar, but for live shows, I like to show my face. Next week,
I was gonna say I did an experiment where I did my avatar and I did my face, and my avatar got more views than my face. So I don't know what that means. So
that's funny.
Just take that as a hint.
It's data, though.
That's data. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna end the stream. You guys straw man Dalibor a bit. I get what he was saying, but I don't agree or I don't care. I don't know what straw man means.
Is it a straw with hands and feet?
A weak or imaginary opposition set up only to be easily confuted. I don't think we did that.
Who's J-Rob? Bring him on here now. We got to argue with him next.
5 hours. Round 2.
Dalibor, thank you so much for dropping in, man. I'm going to kick you out, but thanks for coming in tonight.
See you guys.
Later.
All right.
You saying we had a weak argument? Come in here and say that to us.
Creators, but marketing is hard, Tyler. You should buy my stuff because I made it. I mean, I wish that was the case. All right, guys, before we go, shill. I want you all shill. Anime, you've been quiet. Shill. I want you to shill, man.
All right. I am, out of everyone up here, I am the fledgling of the trio of comic creators here, but I currently have a shonen style action comic, Bond of the Blade, about a team of martial artist superheroes, vigilantes named the Heretics, who are empowered by their guardian angel to liberate their city from a demonic mega gang. It is currently live on Tapas and on Global Comics. I'm also working on an urban fantasy adventure comic book, The Spider Circle, that's currently in production. My artist, Rosalind Summers, was actually in the chat a while ago, so shout out to her. Be on the lookout for that a little bit later this year or early next year. And when I'm not writing comic books for myself or other people, I am yelling into a microphone about all things related to nerdery. I'm the all-purpose nerd on YouTube. I'm also the resident Negromancer of the Indy Comics here as of tonight. That's like my sixth nickname that I gave to myself. I am the Indy Comics resident Negromancer. Means that I appear and I just manufacture more black folks and black shit. But you
could always use some. We could use some of that.
Use some more black folks, yes. You can find me on YouTube yelling about anything related to comic books, anime, movies. I just be talking about shit, y'all. I mean, you hear me up here. I'm goofy as hell for no reason. This is because it's how I am. But yeah, if you like the silly goose time that you find on Tyler's channel, then slide through, give me a sub, and we'll talk about some dope shit together. And when stupid shit happens from the mainstream, we'll meme on it. I don't believe in having a super serious bad time about stuff, so I'm definitely not in like the quote unquote rage farm or outrage farm brand of creators. I'm more like, hey, this stupid thing happened, let's laugh about it. Okay, next video, let's talk about something I actually like. You know, I'm more of that variety. So if that's your speed, definitely come over here to my neck of the woods and we'll have a good time.
There we go. All right. Dang it, let's find it. Where'd it go, man?
Let's play?
You. Yeah, pitch, let's play.
Sexy witch feet? Is that what you were looking up?
All right, Nicholas, show for us.
What the hell is my book even about?
Dude, I know what it's about. Demon Hunter Raven is about this. Well, he's kind of in the conundrum after Volume 4, which was Fortnite on crack, basically.
That is a good point.
I love that.
Yeah, Demon Hunter Raven Volume 4 was Fortnite on crack. So Demon Hunter 5, I feel like is going to be like, it says stuck in lucid dreams, so I feel like it's like Inception on crack.
Yeah. So yeah, if you are looking for a book with a ninja girl, oh my gosh, I hit puberty. Okay, if you're looking for a book with a ninja girl and Sentai armored like heroes and people just beating the crap out of each other, and a comic book, oh my gosh, we're all in for that. Yeah, next volume's coming out, and then I'm dropping Winnie the Pooh Volume 3 this. This fall. Where are we? Oh my gosh.
I know. I can't believe we're already in effing May.
I'm packaging books right now for Volume 2, and those will be out in a week or so. So
that's exciting. Those hardcovers look so nice.
Dude, they came out so nice. I want to steal some of your guys' hardbacks and just keep them for me. I'm like Golem over here, like mine.
That's awesome.
Don't touch them.
Nicholas, you also have a.
That's not my page. That is not.
But don't you wish though?
I don't know. I don't want to be a douche. No, wait, I am. Never mind.
Stop. And then we've got the Raven. We got the Ravens Loft guys. Go check out Nicholas's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
This turned out really well. I saw it the other day and it was at like 10 views, and I was like, uh-oh. And then like before the stream I saw it, I was like, oh, it like went up like a ton.
Yeah. And you blinked, and then YouTube was like, oh no, it's here.
It's coming. It's happening.
I love that.
Yeah. And it's funny what happens when you don't care, and you're just like, whatever. And then YouTube's like, oh yeah, you don't care? Well, watch this.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I love when that happens.
All right, guys, you guys officially have 48 hours left for My Sexy Witch Academia. There we go. It's funny. I didn't know Kickstarter did you have like 48-hour email. Do they do a 48-hour email and a 24?
Yeah, both.
Okay, so I didn't know they did a 48-hour. So I just got it sent to me. So 48 hours left on this campaign. We'll be talking about it more on Friday, as I'll do a stream on Friday to close this campaign. But thank you guys, everyone who's backed it, who's checked it out. I really appreciate it. This has been a fun experiment. I was telling Nicholas, I was like, man, now I have to effing draw this.
I said, just do stick figures. Just get it out.
Just kidding. But I'm super excited to actually get into this world. I've been building it out for the last 2 weeks since I literally just I pulled what an actual crowdfund is. I just gave a concept. And I was like, here's the concept. So now I've actually been writing it this last couple weeks, and I've been having a blast. So
wouldn't it be funny if those were the only pages you drew, and then the rest were just like pages that insert picture here? Use your imagination here.
Oh, like in the actual book?
Yeah, and just then cast a spell to see the rest of the page.
Because that's funny, because I was like, that's what I did. Like, this is page 1, this is page 2 and 3, but then this is 2 panels from page 5. This is 1 panel from like page 8. This is 1 panel from like page 30 and like another panel from page like 32.
One page should just be a text of saying, like, wouldn't you like to know what this page was?
And then this happened.
and then the final page is like, to be continued.
Exactly. Oh,
Nothing
that'd be
else.
so. Oh my gosh. Algemil3 says I made it a bit for the live. Absolutely. This is real live too. This is real live. It's not fake live.
It's real live.
It's not fake live.
We'll do
All
it
right.
live.
We're gonna do real live on Friday night to close out this campaign. Thanks, Anime, and thank you, Nicholas. You guys have a good rest of your night. Thank you, Dalibor, for coming on. Oh, I didn't let him chill. He has a.
I want Anime to have a better night than you, Tyler.
That's
you
fair.
said you want me to have a better what?
Night. This is gonna get awkward now. I haven't slept in the last 2 days.
Oh, I feel that. All right, let's hit this outro music before we get too goofy. Where is it? Where is it on StreamYard? Where's the button?
Sexy witch feet for everybody. Good night, y'all.
Is it in the banners? No, it's in brand. Okay, bye.